Sean, do you think that the Star Wars sequels will be more appreciated in the future after all the content explaining Palpatine's return and the rise of the First Order? No, I don't think so. Like, there might be some things that fill in some gaps that make it make a little bit more sense. The problem is there's no cohesive vision. There's not even a target audience, the same way that, like, there's people that grew up on the prequels, and then the prequels are followed up by the Clone Wars, and all of that had George Lucas shepherding it with a vision for what they were trying to do. And they had a better idea who their, like, audience were. And it was people that are 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me, that grew up on the prequels. And with the sequels, it was much more of, well, I mean, they didn't know is kind of the problem. And so, like, let's make a very safe movie in Force Awakens, probably a good strategy. And then let's make a very polarizing film in The Last Jedi, where The Last Jedi, like, in all of this, they're not pulling new people in the way that the prequels pulled people in. Some of that's a matter of when it came out and the changes in the industry and things like that. But the sequel Disney era, the sequels themselves haven't been the on-ramp. The, like, Mandalorian is much more of an on-ramp than anything else. But you have Star Wars that's very segmented, that you have people that like The Last Jedi, and there's people that hate The Last Jedi, and there's people that are loving, they're making a show that's an adaptation of a character from an animated show, and it's this niche. And so it's just like all these pockets, and different people like different parts of Star Wars. There's almost no one that loves the sequels as a whole. They love Force Awakens or they love Last Jedi. There's not a ton of people like, man, Rise of Skywalker was awesome. And there's not a lot of people that are defending the trilogy as a whole. And even if you can explain, like, for me, I don't have an issue with Palpatine coming back. You don't need to explain to me how he came back. You have a lore where you have Force ghosts and cloning technology. I'm not stupid. So I can go, yeah, merge them together. Like, this is super easy. Like, you don't need a ton of work to resolve this. It's all there, like, decades before we get Rise of Skywalker. The problem was it was a mess of a trilogy when they're like, how can we pull it together? Let's get this. Palpatine's got a podcast. How did he come? He came back somehow. Like, it's just such sloppy writing out of nowhere. That's the issue. And it, like, filling in the gaps, like, so they were working on clones all along. Right. He had a clone army. That's the plot of the prequels. Like, I've known that. And then, just tying Force stuff into the clones, I can fill that gap in myself. So I don't think it'll make it better because there's just too many fundamental issues where it's not that there was an interesting idea that maybe had some weak writing like the prequels. You're talking about there was no cohesive vision. There was no cohesive anything. And so it just doesn't work. It's no one is excited about it, and no one has been excited about it. And, like, my kids like The Mandalorian. They're not like, hey, let's throw on The Last Jedi. Let's watch Rise of Skywalker. They're like, no, let's watch Mandalorian. Let's watch The Bad Batch. It's all the other stuff is connecting with younger generations. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.